Welcome to Lighting for Profits.
All light.
Powered by Emery Allen.
Get rid of your excuses.
Your number one source for all things landscape lighting.
That's where the magic can happen. You can really scale a business.
We really had to show up for each other.
From lighting design, install, sales, and marketing.
You're a scaredy cat salesman, Kurt.
We discuss everything you need to know to start and grow a successful landscape lighting business.
What do you think a hippo has to do with your business, Ryan?
Usually it's some weird childhood thing. Some bully kicked your butt.
I think the key factor here is trust.
Here is your host, Ryan Lee.
All light. Welcome to the number one landscape lighting show in South Jersey. Man, that's like a whole new planet for me over there. The number one landscape lighting show. And by the way, if you didn't know this, a lot of people already do. We produce the number one landscape lighting chapstick in the world. All you got to do to get one of these bad boys is join our coaching program or stop by a booth or, an event where you see me. I'm addicted to chapstick, guys, and I love it. So I'm excited to be here with you guys today. We got an awesome guest. We got an awesome show. If you're looking to start or grow a landscape lighting business, you're definitely in the right place. We're here to educate and motivate to help you dominate. And today is going to be an epic show. We're doing something we've actually never done before. And so even if you've been a long-time listener, you're going to want to stick around. We've got an amazing guest coming up, Mr. Jeff Hesser. Jeff Hesser has been in the lighting industry longer than most of you have been alive. But the thing is, he doesn't look that old. He looks kind of like younger than me. I mean, so I'm like, did he start working before he was born? But I'm excited to have him on because he's a huge asset to the landscape lighting industry. He's helped a ton of people. And I've learned quite a bit from him, getting to know him over the last few years. And also, we're going to do something we've never done. We're going to do a giveaway that's bigger than any gift card giveaway. And good news is you don't have to be live. So even if you're listening to this later on, you can win. And it's going to be a $1,500. We're not going to tell you what it is yet, but it's worth $1,500. So if you want a chance to win this really cool thing, which we'll announce here in a bit, it's worth $1,500. It's amazing. And Jeff is bringing it to us from Cast. So I'm excited about that. And just want to remind you, I'm still not getting mad at people for giving me 5-star reviews. So if you're on Apple or Spotify, even right now, just like while I'm babbling, just like go give me that 5-star review and write something nice. I mean, if you feel like it. If it's a bad review, I'm not looking for 1 stars. I'm only looking for 5. What's up, Fernie? Good to see you on here, man. Florida. I feel like I'm in Florida every other week, but not right now. I'm going to be taking some time off to hang with the family a little bit. So I'll have to look and see. I know Florida's on the schedule. I just don't know when. And hey guys, if you have not done this, man, we just go to landscapelightingsecrets.com, schedule a strategy session with me. I'm calling it a strategy session, but it's like a clarity call. If you go to landscapelightingsecrets.com, click on start here, and then watch the case study, book a call with me. These calls are amazing, you guys. I mean, people walk away with so much clarity. And that's the thing that I found is people don't really know what they want. And it's not like you're going to learn in, 45 minutes exactly what you want in life. But what we do is we turn it and we turn that ship and head it in the right direction. And so go do that. You're going to get so much value out of that call. I want to encourage you to do that. Don't forget, it's a free strategy session. And you only get one. So don't take advantage of it every day, but get on there. And I promise you, we can help steer you the right direction. And of course, want to thank Emery Allen. So let's be honest. Are you really happy with the way your last job turned out? Some of you guys are so cheap. You'll go on to Amazon or whatever. I'm like, come on, what are you doing? Listen, mix it up. Try something new. Do some A/B testing. Give Emery Allen a try. I got to know Tom and his family over the last few years, and I never used Emery Allen. So like full disclosure, but a lot of my clients have since then, and they speak nothing but the best for these guys. They got the lowest VA, highest CRI, a better experience is what you can expect with Emery Allen. And really what they kind of, their big thing is they have a single source LED. So, those pictures where you see like the lines, like if you're lighting someone's house and you see the lines at the bottom, okay, that's probably because they're not using Emery Allen, right? And so it gives you just a clearer Speaking of clarity, it gives you a clearer perspective. It reminds me when I got glasses. I thought I could see the mountains here in Utah, and I was, I don't know, 15, 16 years old. I thought I could see pretty well. And then I got glasses and I was like, whoa, it's like a whole new world. I can see very clearly. So if you've ever had contacts or glasses, you know what I'm talking about when you're not wearing them versus where you're wearing them. That's the difference. That's the Emery Allen experience. So all you got to do is email Tom G at emeryallen.com and get your account set up today. Don't go to their website because you're going to be like, oh, they're MSRP, whatever. Like just email Tom G at emeryallen.com. Mention you heard about him here on Lighting for Profits, and he'll hook you up with that discounted contractor pricing. I love this industry, guys. And today, I'm telling you, in just a few minutes, we got a guy that if you do know, you're like, heck yeah, I'm already sticking around. It's Jeff Hesser. But if you don't know, which I'm surprised because I didn't know him well in the past, right? But once you get to know him, you're going to fall in love with him. And he's got cool stories. He's got cool experience. And again, he's just a giver. Like he's just someone who's like, he's just always willing to help, go the extra mile. And so make sure you stick around. He's an awesome guy, Mr. Jeff Hesser, coming up in just a minute. And before we have him on, I just got something on my mind. Okay. And one of the things that I love about the landscape lighting industry, which I love a lot of different things about it, but one of the things I love as I go around the country and I speak at different events and I meet entrepreneurs and stuff like that, one of the things that I didn't realize was like pretty dang awesome, but it is the high average ticket. So like in the holiday lighting industry, you know, the average is usually around like 1,000, 1,500. Yeah, there's guys that do bigger than that, but I'm just saying average. Permanent lighting that's, you know, newer in the last 5-10 years, the average is around 5K. And you know, the smaller services like lawn care and landscaping and window cleaning, you know, some of those are as low as like $750 to $1,000. And in landscape lighting, you know, $8,000 to $10,000, what you can just go meet with someone in 45 minutes and like secure a deal worth $10,000 is pretty awesome. And I think I took that for granted a lot when I was running my lighting business. But I want to kind of throw some caution out there. You have to be careful because, you know, you start thinking, oh man, like $1 million, like I just have to get 100 people to give me $10,000. Some of you have never hit $1 million in a year. And it's like, well, do the math. Like it's that easy, guys, just 100 people. So maybe you're focusing your efforts in the wrong area. Right. But you got to be careful because this game is not about revenue. Okay. To get $1 million, you could spend 1.2 to get $1 million and brag that you're a 7-figure business and you lost 200,000. Right. That's not what you want to do. Sure, it feels good to like go close a big deal, right? And you get cash in the bank. But the problem is you forget about like payroll. And by the way, payroll, you know, people are like, well, I pay that guy $25 an hour. Okay, that's 50 grand. It's like, no. If you're paying someone $25 an hour, it costs you more than that. Don't forget about taxes. Okay. There's payroll taxes. And you're going to add a few dollars an hour to that just to cover what the true expense of that person is. Plus, like, what if that person doesn't work out after 3 months, 6 months, 2 years, whatever it is? You got to spend money on recruiting. Is that in your budget? Are you planning for that? Truck payment, insurance, gas, taxes. You got to buy material unless you're stealing it. But normally, you know, I recommend buying material. So I want to share something that's really helped me out. And I think that it will help you out. I know it will help you out if you can actually do it and stick to it. So the first thing I want to share is you need to start acting like who you want to be, not like who you are today. Okay. So this is something I wish I would have learned so many years ago. And I'm telling you, like, this will change your life. So what does the company look like that you want to be? Like, what are you doing in the business? Are you doing designs? Are you doing sales? Are you doing installs? Are you a manager and you're not doing any of those things? You're in the office. What does it look like? What is the thing that gives you the most satisfaction, that just like gets your energy going, you love, you're passionate about, and makes you money? Okay. Because if you're like, dude, I love, like, when you were talking, like, yeah, what gets me going? What gets me energy? I love crocheting. Okay. That's cool. But like, if you love crocheting, like, how much money does it make your lighting business? Okay. That's called a hobby. When you like doing something and it doesn't produce income, that's a cool hobby. Keep doing it. All right. Keep doing it. But don't let it be your passion in your lighting business, because you got to make money. And for whatever reason, we're afraid. Most of it goes back to our childhood and the false beliefs that we were taught, and that we feel they're ingrained in us. It's hard to change something that you believed as a child. I know for me, like, I thought if you made a lot of money, and no one said like, if you make money, you're evil. But like, I kind of thought that. Like I was like, yeah, well, you're greedy, like why don't you don't need that boat. Like, why don't you help the homeless? Why don't you do this? It's like, that's not how this works. And so you need to you got to realize as a business owner, you're a different breed than most. And you have now a new responsibility to your family, to your spouse, your kids, your team members, the people who work for you. Even if it's just one installer, you have a huge responsibility to provide for them, right? And charging the right price comes in, and not just charging the right price, but making enough money to be able to afford to stay in business is your obligation now. And you're doing a huge disservice to everybody if you're not making a profit. And so what happens is we'll think, oh, well, like today, let's say if you have a job and you buy a fixture for $100, you're like, I'm not going to sell that for $500 a light. That seems like I would never pay that. Or like, that seems like I'm taking advantage of people. Well, like, are you? And so get a spreadsheet out and document all your expenses. And really, what does it cost you to run a business? I promise you, it's way higher than you think. Okay. Every time I've done this, not just the first time, but every time I do this, I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. There's subscriptions that you have that you forget about because they're just once a year, or they're so small that you don't really think about them, but they add up. And when you do the math and you realize, wow, I'm actually spending a lot more money now. But again, like, document. So if you want to hire a salesperson, how much are they going to cost you? If you're going to pay them 120 grand a year, put that in here, because you have to start acting like who you want to be. Build the business you want, not the one that you have, right? And so we go over this in detail in our coaching program. And if you're already in the program and you haven't done this, or it's been a while, go do it again. You know what I mean? Like, this is an activity that's not a one and done. You got to constantly redo this, because like who I am today was like a dream to like 3 years ago. Like, I just was like, if I could just do this, I would be happy in life. But now I'm leveling up. Like, from today and 3 years from now, I have this new vision, right? So we're constantly changing. But one thing that doesn't show up on this daily overhead is something called an opportunity cost. And an opportunity cost is, I don't know if it's the biggest expense in our business. It might be. It honestly might be. It just doesn't show up on a P&L, doesn't show up on a balance sheet, doesn't show up anywhere. And an opportunity cost is, how much is it costing you to not do what you should be doing? Okay. And this is kind of weird to think about. So I want to give you a couple examples. So let's say you are smaller business, you're answering the phones, and you're going out and doing the sell, you do the design, the sell, and then you're maybe even helping out on installs. Like, the opportunity cost is, what would be the number one thing to make your business money? Is it installs? Is it answering the phone? Is it going out and selling? Like, what is the thing, right? And it typically comes down to sales. Like, that's usually the highest paid, most valuable activity in your business. But what is that thing, and what is that worth? Well, at different stages, like to you, it might only be worth $50 an hour. Okay. Maybe it's worth $100 an hour, but the opportunity cost is the time that you're not spending doing that. Like, if you could hire someone to answer your phones for $25 an hour, but when you're out doing sales, you make $100 an hour, then the opportunity cost is $75 an hour when you're doing the $25 an hour activity. So you gotta keep these things in mind. Is like, the opportunity cost is huge numbers. Every time you're out on an install and you could be selling or should be selling, like, you're losing money. And it might feel good today because you're like, yeah, but I'm saving money because I'm not paying installers, and I don't have another truck, and I don't have insurance. But I promise you, when you do the math, you're losing money by doing probably 90% of the activities in your business every single day. And so, want to give you some advice. Just find the thing. Like, if you're not passionate about sales, that's fine. Like, find what you're passionate about, something that really gets you going, something that you absolutely love. That should be the thing that you try to do in your business every single day, whatever you're passionate about, and brings in the most amount of money. And then you build the business around that and hire people that are passionate about other things, right? So if you're not passionate about sales, then find someone who gets fired up about sales, like me. Like, I love it. I feel like I'm doing a disservice if I don't help people make the right decision today. So find someone like that. They're out there. Okay. And if you don't love installs, maybe you used to, but you don't love them anymore, go find someone to do those things. And I promise you guys, these simple principles, by working in your daily overhead of who you want to be, not who you are today, and combining that with finding out what those opportunity costs are and solving those problems, this will, like, explode your business. This is like putting gasoline on the fire. Like this is a thing. This is the thing. So identify those problems and solve them. That's really what we are as entrepreneurs, and we get paid to do. Is we get paid to solve problems that other people don't want to figure out. Okay. People could go buy solar lighting, low voltage lighting, whatever. The people who hire a professional, they don't want to do that. They don't want to solve the problem for lighting. They want to hire you. Okay. And so that's what we get paid to do, is solve problems. So go solve problems in your own business and you'll get there so much faster. That was a lot. I could probably break that down into like 14 different like 1 hour workshops, to be honest. But if you have questions, literally stay engaged, like schedule that call, go to landscapelightingsecrets.com, start now, book a call with me. I'm telling you, go through that process, join our free Facebook group. It's Landscape Lighting Secrets. I'm here to serve this community. So if you guys feel stuck, whether you're in my program or not, like reach out. Okay. Some people are afraid. It's like, oh, he seems busy, whatever. Like, yeah, I'm super busy, but we will find a way to help you out. So don't hesitate to reach out. We want to make sure you're not getting stuck. And when you do get stuck, you get unstuck. That's the whole goal of all this. So, all right, guys, I think it's time. I've been hyping him up. We got Mr. Jeff Hesser coming on. So if I can find the right buttons, we're going to get him on. You guys ready? If you're here live, looks like we got some people live. Let's get them coming. What is up, Mr. Jeff Hesser?
Hey, how are you? I just went on Facebook and joined your group as you were talking. Yes, so you got to accept me, okay? Make sure you accept me.
I don't know. We're pretty selective about who we like to have in our circle, you know.
Yeah, you know, riffraff. Keep the riffraff out.
Yeah, my team's in like, Jeff Hesser. Is this guy? Like, no, just block him.
I literally just did that as you were talking about it. It's so funny.
You know, it's interesting, like, and this is like before, and I'll have you introduce yourself in a minute, but it's funny you mention this because like there's so many things I talk about like so much that I think they're repetitive. Like, oh, people already know I have that group, or people already know I do coaching, or people already know I do these free strategy sessions, right? And then you meet people and they're like, oh, I didn't know you did that. And it's a very valuable lesson because as business owners, or even people listening to this, like you think you already put out too many yard signs, you sent out too many emails, you talk to too many people. Like 90% of the people still don't know what you do, why you do, how you do it, and who you do it for. Like it's crazy, right? Yeah. So let me be the bad example of what not to do and learn from my mistakes, guys. I'm telling you, like that's what marketing is. Like just got to keep staying in front of people, Yeah,
that's a good point. It's so funny you said it because, you know, Cast, who I work for, has been in business for 25 years now. And I'll talk to some contractors and they'll say, when I talk to them, like, they've never heard of us. I'm like, we've been in business for 25 years. I must be doing a shitty time at my job. I've been with them for 20 years and you haven't heard about us. Yeah, and it's crazy.
It's so true. Yeah. I mean, even in our coaching program, like people are in our program and I'll mention brands and they're like, yeah, I never heard of them. It's like, wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot. Well, there's a lot out there. Crazy.
I appreciate you coming on here, man. If you wouldn't mind, just do a quick introduction of yourself, starting with the age of like 8.
Yeah. So I started doing landscaping, irrigation in 1980. I graduated high school 87, 88. I started doing irrigation right away for a company out of Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Was there for a couple of years doing, sprinkler systems. Loved it. Did a lot of big jobs. Then I left that and went to work for a guy named Joe Palomino, Lead & Palomino Landscaping, who is a legend in the area. Does a lot of big high-end work. And I did irrigation for him. He hired me to be his irrigation guy. So I worked for him for about 4-5 years, I think. And we were buying material from Aquarius Irrigation Supply in Conshohocken, Pennsylvania. And I would drive up there and buy, sprinkler products. And I was doing big projects out in Pennsylvania. And they would deliver the material and became really good friends with Rob Beausoleil, who was the owner of, the son of the owner of Aquarius Supply. George Beausoleil started it. And his brother or his son, Dave and Rob, ran the company for him. And Rob hired me to start a location in southern New Jersey. So I ended up opening a store for them in South Jersey at 24 years old and had my own branch and did that for 10 years, selling 8 kinds of lighting, 4 different irrigations, ponds, you name it, drainage. And then Dave Beausoleil started Cast. He asked me to come work for him. So I jumped from the one brother and went to work for the other brother through manufacturing. And I've been with Dave now for 20 years. So I've been with the Beausoleil family for 30 years.
Nice. That's killer. So what do you love about landscape lighting? What do you love about lighting specifically? Because by now you've been in the lighting industry so long, it's like, after like a few years, people are like in or out, and most people stay in. But what do you love about it?
It's never the same thing twice. I am always in a different location, always at a different job site, always meeting a new client, always have a new challenge, a new adventure. This has been one of the greatest adventures ever, to have a job where people pay you to go out and beautify their property. It's the craziest thing. I can't believe I pinch myself sometimes that I have this job and I'm doing this.
That's so awesome. Hey, by the way, guys, if you're just jumping on or you're fast forwarding to this point, we're doing a giveaway in a few minutes. This is the biggest giveaway we've done yet on the show. And just throwing that out there. It's literally a $1,500 value product giveaway that the Cast and Jeff Hesser is going to be giving away. So, yeah, dude, that's how I feel. I'm like, how did we find landscape lighting? Like once you are in it, you're like addicted. Like it's not like you're like, oh, that's boring.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's kind of crazy how things just unravel. And you know what it is also? It's about meeting people. For me, I love meeting people. I love talking to new people. I love asking people, hey, what do you do? My wife thought I was crazy when we were first dating, that I would, talk to people. I'm outgoing. And, I turned around one time. I looked at her. I said, do you realize that every time you talk to somebody, you never know who you're going to meet, and you never know what opportunity it may happen for you. And she really got it, because sometimes we'd be out meet somebody talking, and then this person said, I have this business and this is what I do. And I'm like, really? Like, that's pretty interesting. Explain it to me. And you meet the most interesting people just by striking up a conversation with a complete stranger.
Yeah, big time. Honestly, this happened the other day. Keith Rosser is a listener of the show. He's in Landscape Lighting Secrets. And I told him the other day, I was on a flight back from San Diego and just talking to the guy next to me. He's just a regular dude, but turns out he's not a regular dude. And we're going to get him a lighting project. Like the guy is like, yep, come, I want lighting at my house. He wants lighting on his restaurant. I'm like, man, that is so cool. It's not like I was like, I'm going to get a lead today on the airplane.
No, it kind of falls in your lap sometimes. And the funniest thing is when people say to me, what do you do? And I go, well, I sell landscape lighting, but my specialty is design. Like, I love going out and going to a project and helping a contractor design and install it. And it's funny because when people look at you, you're like, your job is, you get paid to design and sell and install landscape lighting. And they don't even think about it. Like, they didn't even know that's a career that existed out there, So, and it's kind 100%. Of a niche market. It really is. But people were kind of blown away. They're like, what? You sell landscape lighting? And then when you show them a picture of maybe 1 or 2 of your jobs, they get it. They're like, oh my goodness, I need that, or I want that, So
you've worked with at least hundreds, maybe thousands of, lighting designers, contractors, like all these professionals. Is there, like, when you do help them, where do you see most of them getting stuck? Like, what are you helping them with most of the time?
Really, it's in the design side of it, like trying to figure out what fixture to use for what application and what beam spread and what lumen level, wiring. A lot of guys don't know how to do any calculations on wire gauging and wire sizing and, voltage drop and, the science behind it. I like the science behind it. I'm an irrigation guy to start with, and I love friction losses and gallons per minute and pipe sizing and, all that stuff was very interesting to me. And I have my irrigation license in New Jersey. I have my CIC. And I thought that was interesting. But then you go into electrical and it's the same thing. You're dealing with amperage and voltage and, friction loss, basically, through the wire. So they all kind of work together in the industry, irrigation and lighting.
So when someone, because it's crazy. I remember I pulled up to this one job, and they called us for a quote, but they already had lighting in the front yard, and I was like, oh, what the heck's going on, right? And it turns out it was installed by their AV company, and literally they had this wash light. It was just one wash light, by the way, under this massive oak tree. Like, just imagine like a massive oak tree with one wash light under. I'm like, what in the heck is going on here? And like, people just either just don't think, or I don't know. Is there, like, what do you give them for tips on how to determine what fixture and what beam spread and what lumen output? Like, where do you guys start with that?
Yeah, I like demos. I mean, a lot of people hate demos, but I think you should have an arsenal of fixtures in different kits and be able to go out and plug in a transformer and run wires across the property, and to give the homeowner a really good taste of what their property is going to look like, because they can look at a picture or a catalog or something, but it's a different experience when you walk out your front door or your back door and you can see across your property, or you can see your plants. That is the selling feature, I think. A lot of people just putting it right in their backyard and in their face. That's a lot of fun. I like that.
Yeah. Well, and I do encourage most new people to have a demo kit, and it's the easiest way to learn design, because you can find out real quick, like, oh, that's way too close to that trunk of the tree, or it's too far, or needs more lights, or whatever. But like for me, when I'm like trying to teach a principle for around design, and I don't like pride myself as like a design instructor, but I feel like I'm okay, right? And I'll be like, well, like this particular tree or shrub or whatever, like it's not very tall, so you don't need a narrow degree thing to shoot out 200 feet or whatever, right?
Yes.
Or maybe there is a tall tree that's 80 feet tall. You might need something more narrow or brighter. Are there principles like that you guys are teaching, and what should they be looking for to determine what type of beam spread and lumen output they would use on a particular job?
Yeah, the principles, like, you got to think about cohesion. You got to think about depth, focal points. Like, there's so many different things that are going through your mind as you're walking around a property. I'm always looking at, if I'm standing at the back door, walk right out the door, what's this going to look like from here to the property line, and how am I going to get their eyes to float through the property and go from this spot to this spot, and creating a focal point, or, washing an area, or backlighting something. Or my favorite is shadowing. I mean, I think shadowing, you can take a house that looks like shit and you can throw a little light underneath the plant and throw it up the side of a house, and it looks magnificent. And I think, like, that's one of my favorites, is shadowing up a house.
I love it. If the first time that happened to me was on accident, I'm not even kidding. And so we do this house, and I was telling the guy how cool these wash lights were going to look as we shine them through these palms. And I can't remember which, they were just these short palms. I can't remember the variety, but I was just telling him how good it was going to look. And so he agrees to do the job. We do it. I go back to do the nighttime walkthrough, and we walk around this corner, and I personally was blown away. I was like, what? Like, I did that? Like, and I was acting like, yeah, I told you it was going to look awesome. And he's like, this is our favorite part. I'm like, it's my favorite part too. This is incredible. So yeah, like when you can look out for those opportunities, it really is something that it surprised me, but it surprises all the homeowners too.
Yeah. And it's funny. I don't think I've ever had a project that I helped finish and the homeowner wasn't completely excited at the end. And not only that, but their budget went right out the window, because now they want more lights and they don't care. And they just keep adding on themselves. Like, the homeowner that becomes the best salesman, because they're so enthralled with what they see. They just want to continue on and spend more money. And it's great for contractors, because guys that I go out with, they're kind of shy, I think. A lot of contractors don't know how to ask for the money, how to throw, get that big, $8, $10, $15, $20,000, installation. But if you just do a little section of the property perfectly, like that one little area with that $2,000 budget, the homeowner will sell themselves. They will add on and they will say, I want more. And the job for that contractor becomes very easy.
Yeah, well said. I think some people do get that wrong. I think they're like, oh, I'll buy 15 lights and this will be my demo. And then they'll try to spread that out across this huge area.
Yep.
And then we know it's like, well, that doesn't look right. There's too many dark spots, and this too bright over here. So I think it's well said. Just focus on one small area, deck that out, make sure that's like perfect, and then they'll get the idea from there.
Yeah, let them sell it themselves.
So why do you think people are afraid to ask for the sell?
I don't understand that. I mean, I'm going into these jobs with contractors, and you know what it is? I think they're just, a lot of guys are afraid of electric to begin with. That's another thing. Like people I talk to, like, I don't want to do electric. I'm like, you know how easy this is? You could grab the wires and jump in a pool, and it's not going to hurt you. Okay. So I think a lot of people have the fear of electricity, but
we should do it. We should do a YouTube video together.
Just I'll grab it in my teeth and jump in the pool. Yeah.
Huh.
But I don't understand, guys. Lighting is the icing on the cake. It is the easiest part of the project, and most contractors aren't selling it or offering it. And I think it's because for some reason they're afraid of electric, and they don't realize how easy it is and what it does for their bottom line, because that's where you're going to make the most profit. These guys have big, massive trucks, big equipment. They're doing pavers and concrete and all this crazy equipment you got to have. You could do lighting out of the back of the trunk of your car and make more money than you did on the paver project. And I don't understand why some guys just don't get it and really don't embrace it. And I think the explosion of lighting we're going to see another, again, like we are right now, it's exploding for the next 10 years again, especially with the LEDs coming on board. It blew up after halogen to LED. It exploded, made it a lot easier. And I think now customers are asking for it. You're going to see a lot more going on here.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute. Like, what do you think is going to happen over the next 10 years? Because I tend to agree. I feel like look at how massive the DIY market is, and there's always going to be DIY, and there's contractors that fight that and everything. It's like, well, it's a value ladder. People have to start somewhere. So I don't mind that someone's going to go do the lighting themselves, because they're going to learn that they either are good at it and they'll just keep doing it themselves, and I don't care, I'm not going to try to target them, or they're going to be like, that was a pain in the butt and it doesn't even look that good, and these lights are going out all the next time I'll just hire a pro. It actually is good for us. And I think we're getting to that point where I think these next 10 years are going to be big. There's a huge wave, a huge opportunity for people that are willing to play the long game, that are willing to do it right, and focus on it.
It's kind of crazy. I think it's going to explode in the next 10 years too. I mean, I've seen it explode. It's always blowing up for us. I mean, it's kind of crazy with new products coming on board, new technology, and like with the RGBW stuff, that's why it's starting to really blow up again. It's like, it's almost reinvented itself again with the RGBW that's starting to come on board, because you had halogen, then you went LED, and then you got to explode on the LED and the technology with transformers and control systems and, Lutron and home controls. And now you're into the RGBW. I mean, where's it go next?
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you guys are the manufacturer.
Yeah. Well, we're working on some pretty cool stuff right now. A transformer. I can't say anything right now, but we're working on it. We're trying to expect something out here in the fall. And some new stuff with our RGBW stuff we're coming out with in the fall. So this fall is going to be pretty big for us. We've exploded in production. We came back to the USA. So we moved our manufacturing from Barranquilla, Colombia to South Carolina and Pittsburgh. So our bronze is now 80% made in the USA, which has been huge for us, bringing it into the USA. And then we jumped into the brass market with our source lighting, because we needed to keep our contractors in our wheelhouse. If they couldn't sell a bronze job with a bronze fixture, homeowners like, well, I can't spend that kind of money. My contractor would go and buy somebody else's stuff. And I got so tired of seeing that happen that we made a push for Dave, like, you have to get another line in here. And that's why we started Source, because we wanted to keep the contractors that we've trained and had relationships with and distributors another option to offer their customers.
Yeah, I feel like, let's talk about RGBW for a minute. The historically, if you're a hardcore lighting designer, let's say, like, you see RGBW and you're like, oh my gosh, like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
But you look at what the demand is, I mean, just most homeowners, like a lot of people, there's huge demand for it. Are you guys seeing a continued increase and rise in the demand for it?
So we came in late to the game, I think, on that, but we were working on a bunch of stuff. We've never been like first one out of the gate. We watch and see what happens, and we're a small company. We have limited resources on money wise and stuff. So we wait and sit back and see what the failure points are and what's going on and what's not working, and then we try to take that and then run with it and create something that's a lot simpler and easier to use, and user friendly. And that's kind of the way we've always done it. So we're always not the first of the game, but when we do come in, we try to make a really rock solid product and then roll with that. And with our color changing stuff, we just waited, and we've got a really great app that I've personally been working on for a year and a half. Like they've handed it off to me. I found an app developer. We bought the app, and we basically, myself and the app developer, he was the code guy, and I told him how I wanted to look and how it has to operate. Because if the homeowner can't grab their phone or iPad and work the lights, you might as well throw everything right in the trash, because you're not going to sell anything. It's just going to sit on the shelves and collect dust. So we've really nailed it on the simplicity of the app.
Yeah, I'd like to check it out. For me, like if someone brings up technology, I just like cringe. I'm like, oh man, this makes lighting so hard. It should be the next best thing. It's just the reliability of it. And sometimes it's not just the reliability of like the app or whatever, but like now we're connecting to their Wi-Fi or something else that can fail that now makes us look like we don't know what we're doing, or, this, that, and the other. So I'm always trying to simplify things, but I know I'm kind of fighting an uphill battle. Like that's what people want. That's what the demand is. They want it. They want it. They want it. So eventually we got to have something.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened with us. I mean, people come on us. When are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? And then we were like, well, how much can we sell? You can buy if you make it, but how much are you going to sell of this, right? You really got to do your research. And we found that with the RGBW, it's white light. Mainly it's white light all the time. But if you want color, there it is. You pull your phone out, you spend a couple seconds in your backyard, you hit a button, you change the scene, you walk back in the house. So most people are 80% of the time it's going to be white, but your holidays or your special occasions or special events, you want to have that option to be able to create this kick-ass environment around your property. And that's what I'm seeing right now.
You know what I've seen, which is cool, and I never even thought about this, but I learned this from a client of mine, is they wouldn't necessarily use RGB for like the traditional holiday stuff, but like to change the color temper just ever so slightly for the fall, the spring. Like, these trees, they look different when they're fully leafed out versus when they're not, when they're dormant. I don't know. I was going to say dead, but they're not dead.
You nailed it, because right now in my backyard, everything I kind of live against the woods, and I have trees across my whole entire backyard. So I just put in 16 RGBW spotlights back there, and shot them up my trees. And now I have like these scenes, like red, white, and blue, and these pastels. And right now my backyard is on 6,000 Kelvin. So all the trees have this cool looking, like icy look to them. And it is amazing. And then if I don't like it, I take it and I drop it down to 3,000 Kelvin. But I play with the Kelvin temperatures a lot more than I play with the color.
Nice. Yeah, that's very cool. It's a great idea. Hey, by the way, Garrick said this is his first live podcast, so thanks for being here, man. But guys, in a couple minutes, you're going to want to stick around because we're actually going to do a giveaway that we've never done one this big. It's a $1,500 value, thanks to Mr. Jeff Hesser and Cass. So we're going to do that in a minute. Before we do that, I want to ask you real quick, kind of just about challenges in life. And I know you had a stroke, and you've battled the odds. You've done all the stuff, and I know it's still not easy. What happened, and when was this?
So in 2000, I was, I was out on, I was at Mel Kiper Jr. of ESPN's house in Maryland. I was in his front yard with a contractor, and I was sitting in this water feature that was in his driveway that was empty, no water in it. And I'm sitting there talking with my contractor, and we're laughing about how we're going to light this property up. And all of a sudden I felt like I was being electrocuted, like almost like someone turned the electric on in the pond and started to electrocute me, but the water wasn't in there. So I get up and try to crawl out of this thing, and I crash to the ground and I pass out. And here they rushed me to the hospital, and I find out I have a hole in my heart that created a clot that went to my brain and dropped me and stroked me. So I was paralyzed. I woke up in the hospital paralyzed on my whole right side. Woke up in the morning having a great day, and a couple hours later, I'm laid up paralyzed in the hospital.
Yeesh.
And then this burning sensation from my top of my head to my toes to this day that won't go away, but it's neuropathy. So after that, I get out of the hospital. They fixed the hole in my heart. I lay around for a month in atrophy, and then I went to a gym and I hired a personal trainer, a Marine badass boxer, and I worked out for a year and 3 months, 3 days a week with him to build myself back up again.
That's incredible, man. And so when did you start to get feeling back to your right side? And
I still don't have it. All I have right now is pins and needles. My skin feels like it's got millions of bees stinging me.
Mm.
And it's just bizarre. And I lost motor control, muscle control, vision in my eye went away, and then it came back after 10 months. My vision in my right eye came back. I'll tell you what, man, it was brutal. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. It was the toughest challenge I've had to date in my life. It's crazy. And I'm still fighting.
Has that experience, how has that experience affected other areas of your life? I mean, you have a bad day at work, bad day with the family, whatever. Like, how often are you going back and revisiting that?
It's changed everything for me. I mean, my perspective on life has changed. Things that I thought were important aren't really important. Right now, my grandchildren are the most important thing to me. Hanging out with them and spending time with them, and my daughter and her husband and my wife. That's what I want to do. You can get a job anywhere. You can make money doing anything if you're a hustler. But the most important thing is really just spending time with your friends and family and having a good time. Really.
That's honestly, I've learned a lot from you, but one of the biggest things, probably the most important thing that I've learned from you is I take away so much energy anytime I'm around you. I usually run into you at certain shows and stuff like that. And it's gosh, man, you refuel me. I'm like, oh man, if I'm feeling down, my energy, it's just you get the recharge, and you're so optimistic and you're high energy, and you're just even before the show, we were talking, and you're telling me how grateful you are for life, how blessed you are, and all this stuff. And it's you're a huge example to that, because there's a lot of people that are just Debbie Downers, and they're 180 degrees from you, and your energy is contagious. So thank you for being that example for me. It's awesome, man.
Yeah, I can't be around Debbie Downers. Can't do it. I can't tolerate it. I won't do it. I just, you stay away from those people. That's all.
That's awesome. And I like your perspective. I get lost into what I'm doing, and then I forget, it's not that serious. Just relax. You know what I mean?
Listen, we're doing landscape lighting. We're not doctors, and we're not healing people. There's no emergencies in landscape lighting.
I don't know. I'm still gonna probably say there is. No, if they don't get landscape lighting tonight, Jeff, if they don't get landscape lighting tonight, I'm at their house. What's the possibilities that could happen to them? Well, number one, they could get murdered. If they don't have their lights on and someone's gonna go and break into a house, they're gonna break into their house. So I'm doing them a disservice. That's how crazy I am.
Security. The security is the number one. Lighting is the number one deterrent out there. Oh no, dog's number one. A dog is the number one deterrent, and lighting is the second deterrent for home invasion.
Yeah, we did. There was an area, it was a dark sky area in Texas, and we always had a hard time getting projects in that area. And if we did, we had to, it was just more work to justify it and all this. And then one night they literally had a string of burglaries. The whole neighborhood got broken into, and this was a gated neighborhood, walls around it, everything. And the police for the next few weeks were and they did a town hall meeting. They're you guys don't have enough lighting. The number one thing you guys need is lighting. And our sales went through the roof for the next few months. Even in the
so true though. It really is. The security is security is number one. Then safety, obviously, walking your property and not tripping and falling, and making it enjoyable for elderly people. Especially because they're the ones that have the bad vision and trip spots. But you could go in. We could talk about this forever.
I think it's time to do the giveaway. Are you ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's do this. gift card giveaway. It's actually not a gift card, guys. It's better than that this time. Jeff has generously offered up a giveaway. Before we do that, let's at least do a question, because I thought this was a cool question that you came up with, Jeff. I didn't know the answer to it, and it'll be interesting to see if anyone knows. So here's the rules, you guys. There are no rules. You don't even have to get this. You don't have to get this question right. The only thing you have to do to win what we're going to tell you about is go enter to win. And I'll put the link here in the comments and in the show notes. If you're listening later, it'll be in the show notes. But Jeff, what's the gift card giveaway question this week?
So what is the makeup? The makeup
metal
of,
makeup.
What's that?
The
Yes,
metal makeup.
The metal
right?
makeup of bronze. What
Does
is
anyone-
the metal
yeah.
makeup of bronze?
Does anyone know the metal makeup of bronze? I'd be very interested, before you tell them the answer,
Yep.
see if anyone live knows this. And there's probably people Googling it right now.
Oh, there is. Right now, there's a mad dash to find out what the makeup of sandcast. Well, it's sandcast bronze. Yeah, what is the makeup of bronze though?
Yeah, and we need percentages, people. We
Yep.
got Tom Garber chiming in, and he is almost kind of correct. I mean,
He's got
on the right track.
right. We need percentages though. Like how much? There's a
So 50%, 50 copper, 50-10. Brian's trying to guess. These people are obviously not Googling, so at least
right.
thank you
That
for
is
doing
good.
that.
Hey,
guys.
that's good. You know,
Yeah.
they're not cheating.
What's up, Bob? Bob's.
Oh,
trying.
Bob Gherkin. Holy shit. Hey, Bob. I know Bob well.
All right. So while they're putting in their guesses, let's tell them what they're going to win. So they can win. So this is a giveaway, you guys. And basically, all you need to do is go to this link. It's landscapelightingssecrets.com/podcast-giveaway, which I know is long and annoying. So we'll put it in the link. But what are you guys giving away?
So we're going to give away a color control demo kit. That's what we call it. So it's a demo kit it'll have 2 of our RGBW spotlights. It'll have 2 of our wash lights, an engineer wall light or capstone light. It'll have a path light, bronze path light. I think it's a small China hat with an RGBW module inside of it. It'll be 2 of our range extenders, a 75-watt transformer, all in a bag with all the quick connects and wires, so you can do a demo kit system.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So you've got the entire RGBW color control demo kit from Cast. It's a $1,500 value, you guys, and you don't even have to get the answer right to the gift card giveaway, because
Right.
no one's got it right yet anyway. But everyone has a chance to win. It's going to be a random drawing on, what do we say, May 15th.
Yep.
So if, don't forget, like you're like, oh, I'll do it later. We are going to allow people to enter. You get to enter one time, but you're allowed to enter up until next Tuesday, the 14th. And then we'll take the page down because, a lot of people listen to this over the next few days. So if you guys want to enter to win, and then Jeff or somebody on his team is going to do a random drawing for the winner. It's a $1,500 value RGBW color control demo kit.
Now we're offering that same kit, and I think I have to go to our website, or they can email me, and I'll get them set up. But my email is jeffh@cast-lighting.com. You want to put that up there. So if they want to email me, what we do is we're offering that kit to purchase, if you don't win it, for $750. Yeah.
Okay,
So-
Jeff H@cast-lighting.com. Is that right?
Correct. That's it.
Okay, so just to be clear, we are, someone's going to win this thing.
Yep.
And you can enter one time. If you don't win it and you're like, oh, that actually seems pretty badass, I want it, you guys are allowing people to get it at half price, $750 instead of the regular $15.
Yes.
Love it. That's killer. So that's available for everyone, regardless of if you win or not. And heck, maybe you win and buy one because you're getting half off. There's going to be those little shysters out there that are going to just try to use it for a job, right?
Yeah. Well, when you register, I think when you go to our website and you register to get it, once you register, you can only purchase one. So at that price.
Perfect. So again, guys, go to landscapelightingsecrets.com / podcast - giveaway. And the link will be in the show notes as well. And thank you so much for doing that. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to try to do some more big giveaways. So it's the biggest one yet, keyword yet. So hint to all the other manufacturers out there. See if you guys can one up Cast.
Yeah, that's the color RGBW, the color control we call it. That's our source lighting line. So you guys go to our website. We have 3 tabs at the top. We have landscape, which is our bronze stuff, which is what we're known for. We have source, which is our brass line with the RGBW stuff, and then we have our perimeter lighting, which we have a security perimeter lighting system that no one probably knows about, but we do like prisons and oil refineries, and it goes on the chain link fence. It's pretty cool stuff, but it's for safety and security around prisons and anything that has a fence line around it. We make this kick-ass lighting system called perimeter lighting, and it's on our website also.
Love it. All right, so the fans are waiting. We had some good guesses. Brian Dank was narrowing in on it here. The 8812.
Oh, the 8812, that's close.
Joel, what's up, buddy? These guys are getting close, but
yeah, they are.
Far, no one's got it. You want to just fill us in on the metal makeup of bronze?
So the metal makeup of bronze is 88% copper, 6% zinc, 4% tin, 2% lead.
That's what I've been saying this whole time. 88642.
Yep. 88642. It's easy. It's an easy number. Rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it?
Yeah, we've been saying this for years. And when are people going to start listening? 88642.
I mean, bronze has been around for like 5,000 years. Funny thing is, these fixtures will be buried and someone will be digging stuff up years later. I'm like, what the hell are these things? Because they don't corrode. They just don't corrode. I'm telling you, it's kind of bizarre,
That'll be cool. The ancient civilization is found and there's just cast bronze fixtures everywhere.
We thrive on the ocean front, man. That's kind of where I kill it. From the Hamptons to North Carolina is my territory. But the coastal area is where we thrive.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. So obviously on the coast, it makes sense. Do you have people that are inland that still do it, or are they like,
oh yeah,
it's not justifiable for me?
Well, I call from Pittsburgh. I go from Pittsburgh to the Hamptons down to North Carolina is my territory, and I sell a ton of it in that area. I mean, the bronze is again, people want value. If you want to do it one time and never have to replace it again, that's what you put your money into. If you want to do your lighting system over 3 or 4 times, that's fine. But, put the money up front, get it done right the first time, and that's it. You won't be nickel and dime the rest of the time you have it. So buck up and buy the best, buy bronze, and be done.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think, because most people that start their own business at this level, they don't come from a money background. And so we've got all these misconceptions and things, these perceived notions about money. And so we're like, man, if I buy the fixture, it's going to cost this much. I got to sell it for this. Like, who's going to pay that? But like, because you've dealt with so many of these high-end people, like they want to buy it because it costs more. Like if you give them a low quote, they're like, get out of here.
Well, you put it in their hand. My thing is, if I tell the contractor, if you don't take one of our fixtures and put it in the customer's hand, they'll never justify spending that kind of money. If you're looking at a piece of paper or a catalog and they go, oh, well, that's cool looking, but you have to put it in their hand, because once you do that and their hand drops down and their eyes go, holy shit. Like, you can see the look in their eye. They know that their money is being well spent on that product, and they'll never, ever in their lifetime have to ever replace it.
That's a good point. I hear a lot of people saying, well, I'm not a fixture salesman. And I'm like, well, you know what? I'm probably going to outsell you then, because I'm going to talk about design, but especially if I'm using cast, you put that in someone's hand that drops 2 feet. Yep. Like, okay, I'm not a fixture salesman until I'm a fixture salesman, because we're going to sell the design, we're going to sell the vision, the dream, but we're going to back it up.
But this is the tool, right? This is the tool that I'm going to use to create this beautiful artwork on your property.
And what's crazy is like, the old saying from sales, people buy on emotion, defend with logic. That's exactly what selling selling from a design standpoint is emotional. People
Yeah.
buy an emotion. Oh my gosh, that could be our house. Oh, I'd love to feel like that. How would that make you feel? What would you do differently? Oh, I'd love that, right? But then they need something to defend it with. And logically, when you put that cast brass fixture in there or bronze
Yeah,
fixture in there,
bronze.
it
Don't say
drops
brass.
2 feet. I did correct myself. You put that in there and it drops 2 feet. That backs it up logically, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of the perfect thing to do. We had one question.
Yep.
So what causes some bronze fixtures to patina almost instantly?
It's the salt content in the air. It's basically that happens right near salt water. That's what it is. It's pulling the patina out. Yeah. I mean, you can take, I think it's ammonia, vinegar, and water solution that you can make up and shake it up and spray it on our fixtures, and it pulls the bronze, the patina out of it. Ammonia, salt water, and vinegar, and then spray it on her, and it'll pull that patina out. But it's from the salt spray that does that patina, pulls the green out. If not, it turns like an old copper penny, real dark, blends into the landscape really nice.
Got it. Well, this has been good, man. Again, I appreciate you guys doing the giveaway. That's really cool, and I can't wait to. We'll have to we'll figure out a way to announce it. Maybe we can do a Facebook Live or something like that. We'll jump on here together, and do something to announce it. I haven't thought that far in advance because this is the first time we've done this. So I'm excited for that. What else? Anything you want to tell any advice or anything you want to tell the lighting people of the world?
Yeah, man, up your game a little bit. Don't ever. Here's what I think. People always think that when they're selling lighting, they assume that the customer is cheap or doesn't have the money to pay for the value. Look, I'm not a wealthy guy, but if someone explains to me, Jeff, if you buy this for this amount, I buy the best. I'm a value guy. I will spend the extra money on no matter what it is I'm purchasing, whether it's a toy, a dirt bike, a quad, whatever, a boat. I'm buying the best because I want the best value for my dollar. We work so hard for our money, and why would you piss it away on junk? Why would you spend your money on something 3 times when you can buy it right the first time and get it out of your way and move on to the next thing you're going to buy and not worry about maintaining or replacing it down the road? I'm a true believer in it. You get what you pay for.
Great advice. I mean, I've learned that the hard way over the years as a cheap consumer. And then I learned it from my clients. They don't care what something costs. Like, cost is irrelevant. They care about the thing that you said, its value. So if the cost for landscape lighting is here, but the value, as soon as that value goes above it, they pull the trigger every single time. So if you're having a problem with your sales, don't go buy something cheaper and think, oh, I gotta lower my costs. Like, you're solving the wrong problem. You got to figure out how to increase your value.
You got to start high and then work backward. That's what people do. Don't start low. You're never going to be successful that way. You have to start off with the highest value, whatever you're selling or, trying to push to your client. You always got to start with the highest quality and then give them options to go backward, right? Like, oh, I love it. But you know what? That's a little too expensive for me. What's the next best thing you have and what's in value, and start backward. Don't ever assume that customer doesn't have the money to, afford value or quality, because most people do. And if you just drag it out of them and show them what the value is, they'll spend the money for it.
Love it, man. It's great advice. I love it.
Someone just said, how is Dave B doing these days?
Yeah,
Dave is doing great. Both his children just got married this past year. His son and his daughter both got married. He's kicking ass. We have a lot of cool products. Dave is actually out on the road working and selling the perimeter stuff. He's really active in the perimeter side and has kind of handed off the rest of the stuff to us guys, the rest of us, to handle.
Nice. All right, man. Well, that was awesome. Again, thank you so much, Jeff. Appreciate you coming on here. Really cool of you guys to do the giveaway. So I'm excited to announce our winner in about a week. So guys, if you haven't done it, go now to whatever that link was that I had up there, landscapelightingsecrets.com/podcast-giveaway. And if you want to get one of those demo kits for half price, just email Jeff H at cast-lighting.com.
Yeah, you like my backdrop?
It's killer. It looks like it's almost real.
It's that was a job in St. John. One of my customers has multiple homes, and he bought this $11 million villa in St. John, right above Kenny Chesney's house down there. And he flew me and a crew of guys down to install a lighting system. He made settlement, and then the next day we were putting lights in the ground.
Wow,
Crazy.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's important for people to know that you're willing to really bend over backwards and do everything you can. So if you guys have a project that you're stuck on, you need help with, you need advice for design, need help with install. I mean, Jeff's willing to do it, especially if you fly him to the Caribbean, right?
Yeah, I'll go anywhere. Listen, I'll fly anywhere, private jets, whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah. As long as it's, I guess you're still fine with private. I wanted to make sure you're still,
Yep.
I know you like to be with the people, but
No, yeah. Listen, if the customer wants to fly me in a private jet to their house, I'm all right with that too.
all right. That's awesome. All right, guys, make sure you have an awesome week. Implement at least just one thing that Jeff taught us today, and keep moving forward. Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Hey, thanks for having me, Ryan.
All right, guys, take it easy. See you next week.